Hola malos y bienvenidos. Welcome to Cops Treats. This is the newest cafe in town, sister company of Baddies, which you may know, you may not. Hey coffee nerds, so I'm sure you know the drill by now, but we have another delicious unboxing for you today with two very delicious guests. We call them Gabe or Gabriel and Eve or Evlyn. Yeah. And give me one of these donuts, by the way. So this was made right here in Toronto for not only cops, but good guys like us too. And it's actually covered in horchata, like an almond horchata. So I thought it was very fitting. Not only that, Gabe has a very unique package straight from his hometown. Why don't you open that up for us? Also Evlyn's hometown, Mexico City. This is like a weapon that usually the baddies use, but in this case, what do we got inside? Whoa. Okay. A nice little French press. We will not be brewing on French press today, but we do have coffee from Quentin. We've got this one. Tostado en la Ciudad de Mexico. And you know this guy?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this guy. En español.
En español, bueno, él es el dueño de Quentin. Él inicia su proyecto ya un par de años. Y qué bueno tener un poquito de Quentin y de México por acá. Gracias.
Está amarillo.
En colaboración con Cafeólogo.
Con café de tamarindo.
Chocolate con tamarindo. Pues, let's take this coffee. We're gonna head on outside and do up a few brews right here in front of Cops. So we'll see you out there.
I think I need more arm for this.
Yeah, one of those. Okay, that's a lot better. So here we are, afuera, and besides the donuts, which coffee should we brew first? So, I kind of mentioned this inside, but basically, Quentin roasted coffee produced by Cafeología, which is Jesus Salazar, whom I met while I was in Chiapas earlier this year, and I will be putting out a video on him in the very near future. But for now, we're gonna drink his coffee. Very first time me drinking his coffee here in Canada, so I'm very excited. Which one should we do? Let's leave it up to Evlyn to pick.
Juan López.
Juan López first, and guess what? We have a very special brewer. Look at this thing.
Oh, the sock? Yeah.
This is the sock. Actually, a family gave me this while I was in Chiapas. They're like, you need one of these for your travels. I thought, yes I do.
Yo lo usé en Costa Rica. Lo usé en México.
Yeah. Okay, bueno, we'll hold this. And while you play around with that, Gabriel. So I have Gabriel here. We met recently through, actually not even through the coffee community, but someone introduced me to him because he's also a coffee consultant and doing a lot of cool things, even outside of consulting with other products. He has a cold brew brand and he's just like really pushing the boundaries of specialty coffee. So I wanted to have him on to kind of speak a little bit about what are people doing in the coffee industry beyond just, you know, cafes, roasteries, baristas, which are all very important. And I want to talk about what are you doing to go beyond that? Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found coffee?
Well, basically after leaving Mexico City to move to Canada, back in the day I used to be a graphic designer. I used to work for a big ad agency in Mexico City, and now that I was in Canada, one of my biggest clients was a coffee roaster from Italy. So that was my first interaction with coffee.
The good old Italian coffee.
Yeah, the owner of that brand invited me like once in a while to Italy, and in one of my travels I had an Ethiopian coffee with them. They're like, why are you not selling this to your people? Like,
yeah.
brand. Like, well, because we're second wave, this is third wave. So that was my first interaction with third wave, is when I moved to Canada. We started like getting into coffee. We got a few pounds from him and all kind of stuff. My wife and I bought a little espresso machine, a very tiny grinder, like a home grinder.
Yeah.
And YouTube videos, but at the time I was living in Kelowna, BC.
I interrupt this broadcast because we need to smell this.
Yeah.
¿Cómo huele?
Demasiado bueno.
Demasiado bueno. Too good. You heard it yourself. So Gabriel, among many other people, was introduced to specialty coffee through the golden Ethiopian bean. That's how I found coffee too. No sé de ti.
Bueno, yo me introduje al café en una expo café en la Ciudad de México, en el World Trade Center. Mi primer acercamiento al café de especialidad mexicano fue con un barista ya muy conocido allá en México.
Oh, wow.
Ya no está con nosotros, con Aquiles. Él participó esa vez en la competencia de baristas mexicana. Pude ver su rutina y cuando él preparó un espresso me dijo que vas a ver a fresa. Yo no creía, era la primera vez, pero literal cuando me lo dio era muy dulce, tenía un muy buen sabor a pesar de ser una bebida tan corta y tan.
Wow.
De ahí fue mi contacto con el café de especialidad mexicano primero, y ya después fue Etiopía, y ya después fue Guatemala o Centroamérica.
Yeah, wow.
You don't want to have that really, like
The grinding?
2 minutes of like.
They've seen it so many times. They know how it's done. They know that it takes a lot of effort to get a nice brew. So, now that that's ground up, tell us how you got from BC to here.
So my wife applied to study at Ryerson University. She got it, and it was a great opportunity for me to explore the coffee scene because the Toronto coffee scene was huge. So since I got to Toronto, the only thing I've done is just like breathe coffee everywhere. I like to travel to try new coffees. My next stop will have to be Kitchener-Waterloo with Show and Tell.
They're doing some really, really cool things.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard. Tell us a little bit about your association with Soho House. Like that's actually how we met, was like someone at Soho House telling me, oh, this guy actually set up the coffee program for Soho House Toronto. Not only that, New York. And like how you kind of got to that place where you were working with them.
Well, I got hired as a barista at Soho House Toronto, and it was a great opportunity. It was a great place to work at, and start developing coffee at the same time that my future boss in the UK was doing it. So after a while, people were trying to ask for like really good coffee. They wanted to change, like, how come we have great wine, great food, great cocktails, and our coffee is still not there? Like, it was not taken serious. So at that time, the director of North America, he decided to give me a chance to make some changes. Like I decided to go with a local roaster, and they helped us a lot. They made wonders, and it was a nice change. So the director of North America of Soho House gave me the opportunity to start going to New York. That was my first trip. New York, Chicago, Miami, LA, to make a change. So we changed equipment, going from like the really old school Faemas to Namarzoko, Linea PB.
Right. Wow. That became kind of like a standard in Soho, right? The Linea PB. Because I've been to Soho like in Barcelona, in Berlin, in Toronto, and they all have the same, like this very, standardized but very good coffee program.
But yeah, thanks to that, I had the opportunity to learn more, to understand coffee at a different level, not only just as a coffee shop, but in the restaurant industry and like in steroids, because at that time I was trying to balance or finagle or manage all this espresso bars in each of the houses.
Right.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and I had to like keep on going and into consulting.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's a really great segue for Gabriel, and I'm sure for a lot of people you watching, is like this is what is pushing the boundaries in coffee. Not only to make it, in great places like this, cafes where you can come off the street, have a great coffee, but also, here, try this coffee. But also bringing it to the restaurant industry or bringing it to different industries and making it approachable in that way too. So I think that is really cool what you did. What do you think about the coffee, Evlyn?
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yes, super sweetness with chocolate, with orange, citrus, but the balance with the sweetness. Really good.
Yeah. Very sugary. Yeah, we were talking about it a few minutes ago that we find out that it tastes a little bit like piloncillo.
Well, I remember when I was in Mexico, they would mix it into, they have this thing called café de olla, and it's like kind of in a pot. But yeah, they like kind of shave it off into the coffee.
Yeah.
But this one we didn't put any of that in there. It's just like, it's part of the soil. It's part of the, here, let me try this.
Yeah, try it.
I'm taking this with me, by the way.
He's not letting go of that. So basically, we can say thanks to Juan Lopez for this one, but also Jesus Salazar from Cafeología, and also Quentin, who roasted this coffee. So it's really cool to have this culmination of all these different passionate people involved in coffee in Mexico. Evlyn, why don't you tell a little bit about what you were doing in Mexico City and what brought you here to Canada?
Ok, yo en México empecé como barista hace 7 años. Acá en Canadá pensábamos que íbamos a encontrar café mexicano como hemos encontrado como Costa Rica, como Guatemala, y no lo hay, ¿no? Entonces ya necesitamos al buen Gabriel, porque no hay café mexicano de especialidad. En México hay todas las cafeterías tienen el mejor café de especialidad y muy poco especial.
Right.
Basically, a few years ago, there was a treaty between the Mexican coffee community and the Asociación Mexicana de Cafeteros and the government to like bump a little bit the coffee program. And like, yeah, you know what, we can send the best thing, because I remember even when I competed here in Canada for a local coffee shop, I competed with Mexican coffee. Chris Chacon, now he's Monarch Methods. Yeah, he roasted my coffee, and it was.
This is actually Chris's kettle. If you look, so this is the guy that he's talking about that roasted his Mexican coffee, but he also got into kettle making, I guess.
And the Mexican coffee that I had was delicious, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it, but after a while I wondered like what happened, like why we're not getting more coffee, and it got expensive because specialty coffee, Mexican specialty coffee was supposed to stay in Mexico. Yeah. And the rest of it, we can send the rest of it out. So that's how in a few years, like 3-4 years, the specialty coffee in Mexico started growing and growing to a point that now they're known. Like everyone in the coffee community, they at least know Buna, Quentin, Alma Negra. Right. And also Alma Negra, Octavio, he's like next level. Like that guy will travel for good coffee. Right. I'm talking about like travel to Budapest, travel to Brazil for like a good cup of coffee. That guy's crazy.
That's like us. That brought me to Mexico. Also brought me to Japan. It brought me to Indonesia. Brought me to Barcelona. And it brings me back here to Toronto. And I feel like there's a lot of things happening here in the local coffee scene, the local coffee community, that's clearly bringing people from all over the world. But it also helps like the farmers, like our friend Juan Lopez, and also our other friend Hilario Santis. There's some really cool things happening. I'm gonna give this back to you. Don't forget it. Also, do you mind if we actually brew that inside on the Mocha Master?
Oh yeah.
She wants it, he's not so sure. Let's go inside. We will show you a bit of the space and brew another cup with the other coffee.
You smell this?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, this is Alex of Cups and Baddies. You have to give a reaction video.
A reaction?
So let's take this guy. So we're outside drinking our other Mexican cup of coffee. Made in the Mocha Master. Really, really nice. Here, try that out.
Oh wow.
Before we close, I did want to mention that Gabriel is actually involved in making his own cold brew. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how it's made an impact in the local industry?
I got invited to be part of this company. It's called Keep It Cool Cold Brew. They started in Montreal, then they went all the way south into Miami. One of my business partners, Roy Rieti, he lives in Miami. My other business partner, Shia Scott, he lives in Montreal. Right. And yeah, so Keep It Cool Cold Brew is like different because it's made in a flask. And people recognize the flask everywhere we go.
Keep an eye out because I've been seeing a lot of their cold brew pop up in different places that I've been visiting. But as we close, I just wanted to say thanks again to Gabe and Evlyn for joining us and sharing a little bit about what they do as professionals in the coffee community. And if you want to see more of these types of videos, hit subscribe if you're not already done so, and leave a comment. Tell me about one of your favorite coffee origins, maybe a new place that's popped up in your hometown, and leave that in the comments. Until next time, nos vemos hasta entonces. Ciao.
Adiós.
Bye. Did it break? No.
No, this never breaks.
They don't break? Oh,